Hi everyone, welcome back to RC Pie. We're back at Rocky Road, as a few people have requested, and as I said I would do. We've got the Tracer again, the RGT Tracer. What's different? Well, the tyres. These are the Fastrax Rokkos, which are basically like the Duratrax deep woods. I'm going to get those as well, and we'll see if they are actually exactly the same. I'm led to believe that they are, so we'll find out. And the other difference is that it is slightly lowered. Not a great deal, but it's slightly lowered. You can see different springs in there. So we've got the full travel of suspension there, but these are softer springs, so it is sitting a bit lower. So we'll see what sort of difference that makes. So it's back on the trails, and as requested by the JSR 111, doing a bit of four-wheel steering driving up this bit of trail. Now you can see straight away that we're getting better, easier flex. Those longer, softer springs are just handling things that much better. It just feels plusher, so a lot nicer to drive up the trail for sure, and you'd hope that that would translate into better crawling ability as well. So first up were these rocks that we did last time round, just really checking out the difference. Mainly I think that the tyres are making, but also that slightly softer suspension. We were definitely disappointed in those tyres last time, and although I have to say I was slightly disappointed on the lower section of the trail. I did try it a couple of little times, but ones that were so hard, they're just crazy. Now you probably get to see those in a bit of extra footage that I'll put up again. But you can see these, you can see the side wheels just conforming a bit as those tyres just shape to the rock. Here, this is very much an almost vertical section. This doesn't really look it, but still just that little step. Trying not to floor it because I didn't want it to flip backwards. And as we found, there is no overdrive. There's no front bias to that drive, so we've got to be careful as with a normal 50-50 drive 4x4. We don't want it to just push out and go backwards. But we made it. I mean, more or less made it. Different line over some of the same rock. But all looking really good. The difficulty with these rocks is they're very, very sharp on the edges. And you do keep just catching your axle, even with big portals like this has got, and relatively chunky tyres. You're still going to get hung up a bit. But it's doing really well, and I'm very impressed so far by these tyres. Okay, a little disappointing early on, but I think it's just the actual line, the actual trail, and the type of rock, as we saw last time, that horrid dusty rock on the main Rocky Road is a bit of a nightmare. But these were performing pretty well. Now I'm still wondering how to make this, more capable. As I've said before, low centre of gravity stuff, it's not been my bag. I'd like to get into it a bit more and hopefully make this perform in the same way as I've seen some of the trucks perform. Just getting that front wheel stuck, so I'll take a slightly different line. Now this was a bit of a nightmare last time, but pretty easy. I'm going to try and do all this stretch that we recorded last time in sections. I've not brought the gimbal with me today, so it's all one-handed driving, which is a little bit annoying, but see how we can do. Just trying to move around this very, very pointy rock. Okay, and there. Just tip over. Just a bit there. Through that section, just going to tuck in the body on this side so it's come out of those rock sliders. Great. Apologies for not always tracking what's what. I'm also watching my feet. You can imagine looking at the rocks and having seen this road before, just how bumpy and uneven and full of massive cobbles it is. And you know, as much as I like making nice films, I like my ankles as well. So I am having to look away whilst doing one-handed driving and filming. It's a bit of a nightmare in some ways. Quite a nice nightmare, but you know. A bit of a tricky bit for me, if not car. Big step up. There we go. Not as young as I used to be. But who is, eh? Now I do want to be a bit careful. You've seen my great skills at letting a new truck fall off a cliff. Right, I'm going to catch it up. Try not to fall over. Section. And switch to forward steering here and shift that back end round to approach this very, very steep slope. Try and get end on dropping down here. Go. Hard to be quite as confident as I'd like when I'm kind of standing on the edge of a drop and I know that my reaction one-handed, there you go, that's the sort of thing that happens when you're driving one-handed. You just catch something when you're trying to adjust and grip on the wheel. And it makes you look like a rank amateur. I need to switch. I'm going to take a tumble, I know we are. Can we save it? No! Looks like there's been quite a bit of heavy traffic up here because the edges of the rocks are all very, very polished. So I suspect there's been a few Land Rovers driving up here in the last couple of weeks since we were last here. The rock is polished as anything, and then with this coating of horrible this thing's ruining it all. Oh, nearly had a heart attack then. Try this section again. We've just had the motorbikes coming the other way, which scared the living you-know-what out of me. It all stinks along here. Amusingly, after they've given me a fright of my life, they didn't even manage to ride down here. Now, I used to ride down here on my mountain bike on a regular basis without any problem at all. On that big off-road bike, the guy failed. Just as I did. So we got back down to the bottom of Rocky Road. Actually, we didn't come down Rocky Road again. I came through the woods doing some different sorts of trailing that I didn't think I'd be doing with this truck, and I have to say it was a lot of fun and did very, very well. So after my initial thoughts about these tyres being, oh, maybe they're not any better than the others, yeah, I've completely changed my mind. These are miles better than the stock tyres, and they've done really, really well. Just that section of Rocky Road at the start is horrible. It's so dusty on top of those polished rocks. I'm not convinced anything can get up there. We'll try it with some other tyres in the future, maybe some Pro lines or something. But I have to say, what we've done with this, just dropping that suspension a little bit and softening it up and adding those tyres, it's now turned from my first run being honestly a bit of a disappointment to really enjoying this and thinking, with some tuning, with some sorting out, probably with some longer, softer shocks, it could be a really, really good truck. Now, I'm not Mr. LCG. I've no idea about low centre of gravity crawlers really, so any advice that anybody could give me for how to improve this, and preferably in a cheap way, then we'll have a look if we can do it. And until then, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done. We need to get those numbers up. It's going to really help me to keep the channel going and to grow it. And we'll see you again on RC Pie.